you guys, and welcome back to Hot Girls Eat Carbs. I'm your host, Brittany McChrystal, and this is your safe space for all things wellness, self-love, and sustainable weight loss. I hope that you're doing okay today, whether you're on your hot girl walk, driving to work, or honestly, just hiding under the duvet with your headphones in. I'm so glad that you're here either way. And I just wanted to take the time to say thank you for hanging out with me. It means so much to me. And if you do get any value out of this episode, please make sure to give my show a rating as it helps me more than you know. I'm just hanging out in my house today. I've got an iced coffee with me. It's a Saturday afternoon. I've just finished my training and now I'm in my comfy clothes. And honestly, there is nothing better than finishing a tough workout, coming home to a cold shower and putting on a really nice baggy boyfriend tee. Like, I am all for dressing up, but girl, I am a sucker for clothes that make you feel like they're giving you a big warm hug. So I just want you to get comfortable and calm and just take a little exhale moment for us both. Because this episode is going to be one of those. This kind where we talk about what's really going on beneath the surface, the stuff that no one posts about on their perfect morning routine reels. So recently I've gotten back into a really good routine with my workouts. So I've been in Thailand for about a month, and the first week it was a bit up in the air. It's always a little bit hard when you move somewhere and then you're just trying to settle back into again. So I found a really good gym. I'm moving my body more consistently, and I've been journaling again, which is something that always clears my mind. And I opened a journal that I haven't used in a while, and I saw an old reflection of mine from a few years ago, and it made me really reflect on how far I've come and how powerful our thoughts are and how much they shape everything in our lives. And this is a moment of my life that we haven't actually talked about in a while, but it was actually the beginning of everything for me, the beginning of real change. So I wanted to kick things off today with a story, and it isn't a glamorous one, it isn't a polished one, and it isn't the perfect glow up moment. It was raw, it was messy, and it was real. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I was sitting in my old apartment, alone, hungover again. And it wasn't just the physical hungover. I'm talking about the emotional kind. That heavy, hollowing feeling that hits you when you've been running from yourself for too long. Like that feeling when you wake up again and you're like, oh my God, not again. This was me, seriously. But this was me every weekend, without fail. And look, I am not ashamed to admit it. I really struggled with my alcohol abuse for so many years. I actually used it as a mask. And I used to think to myself, the real Brittany comes out when she's drunk because that is when I just felt the most free. And one weekend, I had come home after a night out with some friends. And like I always did, I binged on everything I could find in the kitchen. Like, I'm telling you, it was like unstoppable hunger came on every single time I was about to go home, and I would devour everything in sight. But it was almost like it wasn't because I was hungry, but it was because I was trying to escape my feelings in another way. It was like a numbing, escaping, hiding from my thoughts kind of vibe, like from my body, and to be honest, just like from my life in general. I remember sitting there scrolling through Instagram and just looking at all of these girls who seem to have it all figured out, like their bodies, the success, the smiles, the routines. And I sat there thinking, why can't I just get it together? Why am I always the one that's starting over? And like maybe I'm just not routines like those girls. And firstly, like I want to say, like people show the best sides of social media. They don't show you the ugly stuff. They don't show you the stuff that's actually going on behind the scenes. And I used to fall into that trap all the time when I opened my feed and I would just see everybody living their best lives. And I would be always comparing myself to those girls. But in the middle of that spiral, something actually shifted. Something quiet, but it was really powerful because I realized nothing in my life was actually wrong. I had a roof over my head. I had people who loved me. I had food in the fridge. I had a good job. But my thoughts were toxic. And I was treating them like facts, like they were who I was. And I was like, hang on a second, Brittany, It's not your life that's the problem. It's the way that you're thinking about it. Because that actually really hit me hard. I spent so long waiting for something external to change, my body, my job, my routine, when really, I needed to change the way that I saw myself, the way that I spoke to myself, and the way that I thought about my life. And I want you to hear this too. Your thoughts are not harmless. They're powerful. They are shaping the way you show up every single day. And if you are constantly thinking, I'm lazy, I'll never change, I always mess things up, guess what? You're going to start living your life like that's true. But I want that to challenge you today. I want you to start questioning that voice in your head. Start asking yourself, is this thought helping me? Is this true? Would I say this to somebody I loved? Because you are not your past. You are not your lowest moment. You are not the thoughts that you've been rehearsing for years. You are the narrator of your life. And girl, it is time to write a new story. And after this night, I didn't wake up the next day with a whole new life. But I did start thinking differently. I started choosing one better thought at a time. And slowly but surely, my mindset changed. And once my mindset changed, everything started to shift. Because when you water your mind with truth, with kindness, with possibility, you stop living like a victim of your life and you start living like the woman in charge of her future. So if you are listening to this right now and you've been stuck in your own head and you've been caught in a loop of negative thinking, always waiting for some day to feel better, to get motivated, to finally become the woman you're meant to be, I need you to hear me. You don't need a new life. You need a new mindset. Because the most powerful transformation you will ever go through doesn't happen in your body or in your job or your relationships. It happens with your thinking. You can't build a peaceful life on a foundation of chaos in your mind. You can't build confidence if you talk down to yourself every single day. And you can't expect to feel good in your body if all you ever do is criticize it, pick it apart, and speak to it like it's a problem to be fixed. You can't hate yourself into healing. You're not going to bully your way into consistency. You're not going to shame yourself into change. That voice in your head tells you that you're lazy or behind or not good enough. She's lying to you. And I want you to start catching those lies in real time. Start noticing when you're telling yourself a story that doesn't serve you. Because you are the narrator of your life. And if that story in your head is negative, hopeless, and full of self-doubt, that's the lens you'll live through. But if you change the story, if you choose to speak to yourself with kindness, with compassion, with power, everything shifts. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your beliefs. So deep down, if you believe that you're not worthy, not capable, not disciplined enough, that belief will write your future. And you can change what you believe, and it all starts with your thoughts. You have to be the guardian of your mind. You have to protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. So here's what I want you to do this week. I want you to pay attention to every thought that makes you shrink. Every word you speak over yourself that doesn't sound like love. And every moment you scroll, compare, and spiral. Catch it, challenge it, and choose again. If you want to truly feel differently, you have to think differently. So let's talk about the detox, baby. And this is not a juice cleanse. It's not a pantry reset. I'm talking about a mental detox, a soul level clean out of your thoughts, your words, and energy that are weighing you down. Because it's not about what you're eating, it's about what you're consuming with your eyes, your ears, your heart, and your mind. And I really want you to take this seriously because sometimes we think that we're stuck in life, but what we're actually stuck in is a toxic environment that we've become numb to. So let's detox your thoughts. Start paying attention to what is actually happening in your mind when you're alone. What do you say to yourself in the mirror? What is the first thought you have when you wake up? Would you let someone speak to your best friend that way? Or the 3-year-old Brittany? No. Then don't let your thoughts speak that way to you. I want you to detox your feed. Go through your social media and unfollow anybody that makes you feel less than. If it triggers any shame, comparison, or pressure, it is not helping you grow. Your feed should feel like a vision board, not a war zone. You become what you surround yourself with, even online. Detox your language. Your words shape your world. Stop saying things like, I'm just lazy, or I always mess this up. You need to start speaking life over yourself. Try, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm figuring it out. It sounds small, but words are so powerful, and your brain believes what you tell it. I want you to detox your circle. Look at who you spend your time with. Do they lift you up? Do they drain you? Do they speak life and possibility or gossip, fear, and negativity? You don't need to cut everyone off, but you do need to protect your peace, and you are allowed to outgrow people, and you are allowed to choose a different path. I want you to detox your habits. What are you doing daily that's keeping you stuck? Are you skipping your walks because you're too busy, but still have time to scroll for an hour? Are you eating foods that numb you instead of nourish you? Are you filling every quiet moment with noise so you don't have to feel? None of this is about perfection. It's about awareness, because once you become aware, you become powerful. Detox your beliefs. Now this one is big. You need to stop agreeing with lies about yourself. You need to stop identifying with your struggle. Start asking, who told me I wasn't capable? Who told me I'd never be consistent? And why did I believe them? You are allowed to let go every belief that was never yours to carry. Now take a breath. You don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to fix everything overnight. But what you can do is pick one area to start with. Because people think, that you're just going to magically get rid of all of your habits at once. It's not like that. It's a journey and it takes time, just like your health journey. It starts with one small change and over time you build on it. And every time you choose peace over panic, truth over fear, or growth over comfort, you're rewiring your life. Because when your mind is clear, your vision becomes clear. And when your vision is clear, your life starts to follow. So my love, if there is one thing I want you to take away with today, it's this. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You've lived, you've learned, and you're still here, which means your next chapter is still being written. You don't need to fix anything. You just need support. You don't need more pressure. You need peace. And you don't need to become someone else to create the life that you want. You need to come home to yourself. Everything you need to change your life is already within you. It just starts with a thought. One better thought, and then another, and that is how it begins. So protect your peace, challenge your inner critic, and speak to yourself like someone you love. Because you're not meant to just survive in your life. You are meant to live it with clarity, with confidence, and with joy. So if this episode gave you a little shift, a little spark, or just made you feel seen, make sure you give it a like and a follow, and you can come say hi on Instagram or TikTok. It's just Brittany McCrystal, where I share mindset tips, client wins, and daily motivation to help you stay on track. And if you're sitting here thinking, I want this to be my turning point, if you know you're ready for more support, more structure, and someone in your corner, my one-on-one coaching spots are open. This is where we do the real work together. Custom plans, accountability, mindset work, and so much love. Because change should feel doable, not overwhelming. The link to apply is in the show notes, or you can just DM me and we can chat more about what you need help with and how I can help. And I'm proud of you for being here. Keep showing up and keep choosing better thoughts. I just wanted to say that I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next episode.